Hello folks, this is Mike. Thanks for tuning in. A couple of months ago I showed you how to repair this chair. Now this chair has a sinking problem. In other words, when I sit in it, it slowly sinks toward the floor. But that problem has been fixed and that repair continues to hold. But now the chair has developed another problem. Watch what happens when I lean back. Hear that crunching and see how far back I lean? And now the metal support on the back of the chair is sticking into my back. It's very uncomfortable. And that's because the plastic chair back has broken. So today for $5 or $6, I'm going to show you how to repair this chair back. It's going to be a quick, simple, and inexpensive repair. So be sure to continue watching and I'll show you how. Here's a close-up of our chair back. Now watch what happens when I push forward. Now you can see all that's broken there, can't you? And it's broken all the way around this support piece. Now before I take this support piece off and actually go to make a permanent repair, what I want to do is take some JB Weld or epoxy, if you would, and I'm going to force that epoxy into all these joints around here. And I'm going to put it back into place and let the glue dry overnight. Then we'll take a mending plate. Now these are available at most lumber yards. And it's basically just a solid piece of steel, galvanized steel, fairly sturdy. All of these holes are to help you if you need to put two pieces of wood and hold it together to make a repair or whatever. So very handy, and I think it's going to work pretty well for this repair. As a matter of fact, we're going to cut it down so that it fit right between these two pieces right here. The cracks are here close to the metal support. So this should give us enough support, especially when we use epoxy with it, to strengthen this chair back and keep it from doing this. Before I remove the chair back, I mixed up the adhesive. Now epoxy has to be mixed. There's always a part A and a part B, which translates to resin and hardener. We want to mix up enough to do our repair in one application if possible. Squeeze out an equal amount of each and mix together thoroughly. Now I'm using just a thin flat piece of wood, which works quite well. Okay. Once mixed, I'm going to separate the joint, and we want to put a lot of epoxy in this joint, get it good and coated. Now in my work I go through a lot of epoxy, so I have these large bottles. For small repairs like this, you can just buy it by the tube, much more economical. Now when everything is coated, we pop it back into place. And we'll let this cure overnight. Don't be fooled by that 5-minute epoxy or 15-minute epoxy labeling. That's simply just the open or setup time. After that's expired, it becomes increasingly difficult to work with, but it still needs to cure overnight. It's cured overnight now, so I remove the back from the chair and set it on some old towels to protect the surface. Using a hex wrench, I remove the metal back support and examine the epoxy work. Now, as you can see, part of it wasn't very successful. All we have to do now is just mix up some more epoxy and make a second application. And while that is setting up, we can drill and machine the metal plate. We want the plate to be slightly narrower than the opening. So first I put a mark at the bottom and top, and then I extend that line with a straight edge. Next we clamp the plate to the bench and we're going to cut off the excess. Now I don't do a lot of metal work, so I'm a bit short on metal cutting equipment. What I'm going to do is just use my 4-inch handheld grinder with a metal cutting blade. This is a diamond blade, and that will easily make this cut. Be sure to use your hearing protection and your safety glasses to avoid getting hot metal in your eyes. Very uncomfortable. Take your time with the cut and trace the line lightly with your blade first. Then apply a little bit more pressure. Now this is going to take a few minutes. Now when I was done, I had some roughness and burring on the edges, so I smoothed that out with my bench grinder. Now I'm going to mark the location of our mounting holes, and I'm just going to eyeball this and make a mark with my mark slot here. Then we'll extend the lines with my square and mark the drill hole's location at center. Use a punch and tap an indentation where you made your X to center your drill bit.
Be sure you use a bit designed for steel. This kind of work will severely mess up your wood bit. Now I'm using this board for support and also to cut down a bit on burring. And I thought that would work, but I still had to use the grinder to smooth down the back of the plate. The chair back mounting area is curved, and of course we have a flat plate and it wouldn't fit. So I had to carefully bend the plate to conform to the chair back. Now go slow here and bend it gradually and try it a couple of times till you get it just right and it conforms to your back surface. I mixed up another batch of glue and I applied that to the back of the plate, and then I put the plate in place. Then I positioned my metal support in place. I carefully snaked the screws through the support and into the back, just in case the epoxy hadn't set up quite well enough and I wanted to avoid the plate moving. Then I tightened the screws with a hex wrench and I allowed the epoxy to cure overnight again.
It's been 24 hours now, so let's check our repair. Honestly, that feels pretty good and tight. I think this may work. So let's take it inside along with our chair trim and reinstall it and see what we've got.
All we have to do now is simply reverse the disassembly process and reinstall the back on the chair. Now you can test the chair first before you install the trim, but I was pretty confident in the repair, so I went ahead and put it on. Alrighty, well let's try it out now. Okay, I'm going to lean back. Oh wow, I don't hear that snap, crackle, and pop, and I'm sure you don't either. I also don't feel the chair support digging into my back. This is much more comfortable. And I'm thinking this is going to be pretty much a permanent repair. Now, that's going to do it for today, folks. I hope you have good luck with your chair. If you have problems, be sure to send me a comment and I'll see what I can do to help you. Also, go below and be sure to like our video. And we've got more great videos coming, so be sure to subscribe and ring that bell. And until next time, thanks for watching.